What's up? What's up? What's up? We are live. Fireside Giants, Anthony Rivardo. Here I am live to talk about the NFL Scouting Combine. The Combine is going on right now. I'm going to be watching it while discussing it with you all. But we're also going to walk through a few mock draft scenarios and kick off draft season nice and early here. It's early because it's the end of February and the draft isn't until April, but this is actually late for us to be kicking off draft season on the channel because over the last couple of years, we've been discussing the draft in January, talking about quarterbacks. Yeah, well, the Giants don't need a quarterback this offseason, so the draft chatter has not been as intense. We don't need to talk about the Giants trading up to draft this QB or trading down and seeing if they could steal that QB. There's no conversation about the quarterback because we have Jackson Dart. And we're all very confident in Jackson Dart and excited about his potential and future with the New York Giants. So we're looking at other positions. How about linebacker? How about defensive line? Some of these other guys that are on the field today at the scouting combine, some of them turning some heads, setting some records, doing some pretty impressive things, especially Sonny Styles, the linebacker out of Ohio State. So I'm excited, guys, to go ahead and just sit on this live stream for the next half hour to an hour. We'll see how long I go for. Typically at this time, I am live on the Giants Collective channel, but Giants Collective not happening tonight, scheduling conflict. So I figured, hey, I'm supposed to be live at 7 o'clock on Thursday night anyway. Why not just go live on Fireside Giants and hang out with my community? So appreciate everybody tuning in. I see some of you are filtering in right now. We've got about 50 of you in the chat currently with YouTube and Twitter combined. So what's up? What's up? Trishack says, hey, Anthony. Hey, what's up? Justin, this is live. We are live. Yes, sir. Christian C saying Sonny Styles is effing huge. Dude, this guy is an alien. I mean, that's the only way that I can properly describe what I'm seeing. The guy is jumping 11 feet broad jump. He's jumping nearly 4 feet vertical jump. And yeah, he's 6'5", 245 pounds. It's absurd. So I'm really excited about Sonny Styles. I do think this is the guy that I'm leaning to as my favorite for the Giants with the 5th overall pick now. For a second there, I think I was kind of on the Caleb Downs train, but, you know, Sonny Styles is a spectacular talent. And, hey, we got to see what happens in free agency, of course. The Giants lose Illuminor and they don't do anything to supplement that loss. Okay, maybe I'll flip over to the offensive tackle train. But right now, I'm really excited about the idea of Sonny Styles. If he even makes it to 5th overall, I could totally see him going earlier. Swagalin, hey, Paisano, what's good? BF1 saying, good job, Anthony. Appreciate you, BF1, and appreciate you joining me and everybody else filtering in here on the chat. If you guys didn't see it, earlier today, Alex and I posted an episode on the channel discussing the Kayvon Thibodeaux trade rumors. If you guys have questions for me about Kayvon Thibodeaux, those trade rumors, and my opinions on such things, of course, drop your thoughts and questions down below in the chat. I'm going to let you guys dictate the majority of the conversation tonight. I'll kind of go through the chat, answer your questions. I'm going to watch the combine on the side here, as I mentioned, and also discuss some specific mock drafts that I found on the internet. But for the most part, I want you guys to kind of dictate what the conversation is going to be tonight. So, and if you didn't see that episode with Alex discussing Kayvon Thibodeaux, definitely go check that out. And also go check out my interview from yesterday with Art Stapleton. Art Stapleton, one of the best beat writers covering the Giants. He's got a lot of information, and he shared a good amount of it on the channel yesterday. He went over some things with the Giants' contract negotiations with their free agents, said he thinks they're going to be able to keep Illuminor, but the other two, Flott and Robinson, we'll see. He had a lot to say about Kayvon Thibodeaux and those trade rumors, and he shared some really valuable insight on the organizational structure between Harbaugh, Shane, and the new senior VP of football ops, Don Aponte. I won't spoil it. Go check out the interview, but he had a lot to say on that topic specifically that I found really interesting and intriguing and highly relevant to the NFL scouting combine and free agency periods. Lucas, appreciate you joining me. Longtime viewer and very generous viewer. I remember all that you've done for us here and over on Giants Collective. So thank you for joining us. Saying Styles all the way. Yeah, I'm leaning towards Sonny Styles, man. It's kind of hard not to when you see the athletic testing numbers. A 43-inch vertical jump at that height and weight is absurd. I mean, he's having a Micah Parsons level combine. If you guys remember, Micah Parsons back. I believe that was 2021 that he came in the NFL draft. I mean, that guy was a freak of nature on field. And then he got to the combine and it was like, oh my goodness, he's far exceeding our expectations. That's how I'm starting to feel about Sonny Styles. So, guy's a freak athlete, and those guys do tend to pan out at the next level when you're just that big, that tall, that fast, that agile, that explosive. I think you tend to go early in the draft. Swaglin is also on the Sonny Styles train. Ted G, appreciate you joining me. Justin, thanks for tuning into the interview. Appreciate it. Daniel saying, do you think if we trade back with the Saints, Styles will be there? I'm going to be honest, Daniel. I'm not even sure he's going to be there at 5. With the combine that he's having, there's going to be some serious buzz, and there are going to be some teams that take a hard look at him and say, you know what? This guy could start for us for the next 10 years at linebacker. We could just solve that position. Yeah, it's a devalued position. It's not, if you're talking about positional value, linebackers don't typically go top 5, but you can look at him and say, quarterback of our defense for the next 10 years, screw the positional value. Let's get him. So it's kind of, here's the question to ask. If Fred Warner was in the NFL draft right now and you knew he was going to be the Fred Warner that he is for the 49ers, yeah, you're taking him top 5. And if you think that's what you're getting in Sonny Styles, a team is going to take him early. And that team could be the Giants with the 5th overall pick. But you have to be cognizant of the Jets at number 2. Yeah, they're probably going Arvell Reese, but they could go Sonny Styles. Why not? The Arizona Cardinals really could go in any direction. They're going to go BPA, I would assume. Maybe they go with a playmaker in Jeremiah Love, or maybe they go with Sonny Styles. And Tennessee, same story. I think they could go BPA as well there with a number 4 overall pick. So I think Sonny Styles probably gets to the Giants at 5. There's a good chance he goes top 4, though. What's up, Mike? Good to see you in here. Longtime viewer, moderator of the chat. Appreciate you. BF1, I think that re-signing Robinson could make sense depending on how you look at it. He's 24 years old, so he's very good and he's only getting better is kind of the hope there. Also, he's got a great relationship with Jackson Dart. Those two have undeniable chemistry. That's important. You don't really want to break that up. And while the depth in the receiver class is pretty strong, the depth in the free agency class at receiver stinks. It's pretty much Alec Pierce, Wan'Dale Robinson, and a bunch of veteran contributors, no real number 2 guys. And Wan'Dale Robinson proved this past year that he can be a number 2 guy. He can even be a decent number 1 when your number 1 is injured. That's what he proved. So I like Robinson, but I kind of side with you at $20 million plus per year. I don't think it's very reasonable, especially when you're preparing to pay Malik Neighbors in a couple of years 30 or 40 million plus if he stays on the trajectory that he's on. So I don't know if Wan'Dale is a realistic re-sign candidate for the Giants. They'd like to have him back. I understand why. He's young and he's rising. But at the end of the day, they're probably going to have to address that position through the draft and say goodbye to Wan'Dale Robinson. Unfortunately, a homegrown talent who very well could hit the market at 24 the same way Xavier McKinney did and have a breakout in the future. It's totally possible, and it would suck. I think that they could trade down at 5. I don't think it's likely just because I don't think a lot of teams are going to be clamoring to trade up to the 5th overall pick. But at 37, I think that's where you could see some potential first rounders slip into the 2nd round. And all of a sudden teams are clamoring to trade up at 37. I do agree with that. It is a possibility. And I do think that a quarterback like a Ty Simpson out of Alabama might not go 1st round. He has some buzz, like he could go 1st round, but could he potentially go early 2nd at a pick like 37? Yeah, possibly. So I do think that's a very likely spot for them to trade down. BF1, I'm not crazy about Mike Williams in this free agency class. I get the idea behind it. You want a vertical field stretcher who can play on the outside opposite Neighbors. I could see that. But I think that Mike Williams has had some injuries in the past, and I just think he's past his prime. I think you get him at a discount because of that, sure. But I'm not entirely convinced he can be totally effective. I think this past season, between a couple of teams, he was with the Jets recently, he was with the Steelers. He didn't prove to be all that more effective than a Darius Slayton, and you're already paying a Darius Slayton. So you might as well just have Slayton play the role that Williams would play. I actually like guys like Hollywood Brown, bracing. Did Mike Williams retire? He might have retired. I thought he retired and came back. I see Jaws saying in the chat that he retires. I thought that he retired and came back, but maybe he did officially retire. I don't remember. But yeah, he's not a guy that I'm really focused on in free agency. But I like a guy like Hollywood Brown, Marquise Brown, because I'm bracing for what I think is the inevitable departure of Wan'Dale Robinson. I think Robinson's as good as gone because of the price tag. We'll see. Who knows? But as we just discussed, Robinson likely departing, you're going to need a new slot receiver if that happens. That's right, Jaws. You're right. Chargers signed him and he did retire. Yeah, Mike, I'll get to your comment in a second here, but I just want to finish my point on Hollywood Brown. I think that Hollywood Brown is a very reliable veteran receiver. He put up over 500 yards this past season with the Kansas City Chiefs, obviously playing under Matt Nagy, our new OC, and he was drafted by John Harbaugh and the Baltimore Ravens, and he had 1,000 yards at one point with the Ravens. So he's a player that I think makes a lot of sense from a connection standpoint, but also knowing that Robinson's probably leaving in free agency, you need some reliable receiving threats out of the slot. Wan'Dale or Hollywood Brown, you can get him for cheap, and he absolutely is a reliable receiving threat from the slot. So really like the idea of signing Hollywood Brown on probably a 1 year, $5 million contract. Yeah, sign me up. Mike, appreciate the comment saying Jets are going to get David Bailey after the trade they made today. Bailey fits the Jets' new defensive scheme to a T. Yes, but also at the same time, Arvell Reese is kind of that guy that people keep connecting to them because of his potential. It's really going to come down to, are you going to draft for potential and upside like Arvell Reese being compared to a Micah Parsons / Abdul Carter? Or are you going to go with a guy who's a little bit more technical and refined and could have an instant impact, maybe like a David Bailey? They can go either way. He does fit the scheme, but I honestly could see them going Arvell Reese just for the potential upside. Let's see. I would really like Omar Cooper Jr. as well. That guy is a weapon after the catch, and he's going to be highly sought after if he makes it to the second round, but I'm not even convinced that he will. If you sign Linderbaum at center and Illuminor at right tackle, that's going to eat a lot of money. It's going to eat a ton of money. But with Linderbaum, one of the things that you like is he's 25. So you could sign him to a 4 or 5 year deal, add some void years to the end of that contract. You can keep his cap hit beneath $15 million every single year of that contract and then re-sign him once he turns 29, 30. And all of a sudden, I mean, you're going to have him under contract until he's 33 years old if you play your cards right, and you're never going to have a cap hit over $15 million. You can really structure it and get creative with the void years since he is so young. So that's something that I would kind of throw out there. Also, guys, watching the combine right now on the side, Anthony Hill Jr. out of Texas is a player that I did mention in our prospects to watch video the other day at the combine. He just ran a 4.5 something 40-yard dash. That's a player that I really like, and he's an athletic freak. I'm waiting for Sonny Styles to go ahead and run his 40. I want to see what that speed is. I think it's going to come in really quick. The time to beat today is 4.47 of the inside linebackers. Let's see. Yeah, Rich, I just don't understand why the Jets kept Aaron Glenn. I mean, everything this guy does just screams assistant coach to me. If that, he's not a head coach. Sleeping at the combine, I get it. They're going to say, the reactions are overblown and whatever. You know that the cameras are on you. You have to present yourself. Like, if you're not able to do that, you can't win the media game in New York. And the media game is so important. I really don't know why the Jets kept him this offseason. Granted, there was a lot of competition. Maybe they didn't want to jump into the deep end of the pool. Next year, if they fire him, they're going to have an opportunity to probably with a top pick again. And that offseason, having a chance to get a quarterback, maybe they're viewing it that way. But Aaron Glenn's not a head coach, in my opinion. No Giants collective tonight. With no Giants collective, I figured I'll just go live on the channel. Why not? But Giants collective will be back on Tuesday night. Gunnar Olszewski is an interesting name because I think that he's fine as a slot receiver, but he's not a guy that I think you want out there playing 700-800 snaps. So I think that there are guys who are a little bit better from a receiving standpoint. He's decent as a receiver, but in terms of he's got really good spatial awareness and he finds those pockets in the zones, and Jackson Dart obviously appreciates that. But I think in terms of having the ability to beat a man one-on-one, there's probably better options out there. I do think the Giants are going to run with tight ends in the slot a little bit more. And I actually think Daniel Bellinger is going to be that guy because John Harbaugh actually mentioned him by name for that specific role at the podium on Tuesday, which seemed like a mistake because Daniel Bellinger is not under contract yet. So I think they're going to re-sign Bellinger and put him in the slot quite a bit. Rich the Kid, this is a great question. What's it going to take to have Alex on Collective? He could probably come on as a guest appearance, and maybe we'll try and have him do that at one point. But in terms of being a regular member of the Collective, I don't think it's going to be possible because he's raising an infant child and he's so busy at night. He's so busy at the day too. So I just don't think that's going to be an option, unfortunately. If they sign Wilkins, I still think defensive tackle is on the table early. Just load up that defensive front. That's how the Seahawks won. Everybody keeps saying you can't trade Kayvon because the Seahawks, blah, 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 blah. Their defensive line was so stacked. Their defensive line was stacked with guys who could play inside, not necessarily outside. Yes, they had some great edge pieces, and they had a surplus there, but the true strength of that team was their run stopping on the interior and on the edge, too, with Tank Lawrence. But I think if you sign Wilkins, you got Darius Alexander developing, you still got Dexter Lawrence, and then you still could take a defensive tackle in the first 2 rounds of this draft, and all of a sudden, your run defense maybe went from worst to first. Yeah, I agree. I think that they should take one of those Ohio State guys. They're all just insanely good and talented, and they're among the best players in the draft. Yeah, Anthony Hill ran a 4.59. The time to beat, I think today is a 4.46 so far. The linebackers running their 40-yard dashes as we speak, guys. Going to continue to update you as I see notable names or numbers fly in. Kyle Lewis out of Pitt is about to run. This guy's 5'11", 220. 5'11" linebacker? Ugh, I don't know. That's quite undersized. I think you might be playing safety buddy. Let's see what Kyle Lewis's 40-yard dash time comes in at. If you're 5'11", I feel like it's got to be pretty fast. And if it's not, I think you're getting ready for the undrafted free agency. 4.57, it's all right. I think at 4.11, you want him to run a little bit faster. Time to beat so far is Caleb Alarms Orr at 4.47. That's pretty fast for a linebacker. Arvell Reese is going to be running 2 runs from now. They've got Nnamdi Obiezer up next, and then Arvell Reese. I'll definitely be keeping an eye on that. And Sonny Styles is going to close things out 5 runners from now. So let's see what we can get out of him. That dude 56 with a great comment here. Styles said flat out he knows he needs to get his pad level down, respect the self-awareness. I didn't even see him say that, but if you watch today's episode that I did with Alex, I mentioned that he needs to bring the pad level down. He tackles too high sometimes. It works at the collegiate level because, hey, he's a 6'4", 245 pounder. He's going to run over some college guys no matter what, sure. But at the NFL level, a guy like Derrick Henry, he's going to run right through those high pad level tackles. So you got to get that pad level down. Low man always wins. We know that. And so I do love the self-awareness there. I think that's great to hear. And, I think that Sonny Styles is a really smart player and he's instinctual. He's got a couple things to clean up, but talent's really there. Okay, so Arvell Reese is lining up to run this 40. Arvell Reese came in at 6'4", 241 today, which is a really good height weight for a linebacker / edge. We'll see what he plays at the next level, but he's about to run this 40. I'm excited to see what his time is. This guy's a freak athlete as well. These Ohio State guys, they're special. It's a wonder to me that they didn't win the the chip with all of this talent that they have. I mean, people are saying Arvell Reese could be a gold jacket guy. They're saying Caleb Downs could be a gold jacket guy. They're saying Sonny Styles could be a gold jacket guy. They got 3 potential gold jacket guys being picked in the top 5 this year. And then also another first rounder in Cardinal Tate, who I didn't even mention there. And somehow they didn't win the championship. If there's one thing to take away from that, you need to be able to block. You need offensive linemen. Got to be able to pass protect and run block. That's the reason why they didn't, of course, win the chip. They couldn't block Miami's pass rushers. Miami's pass rushers were ridiculous. And on that note, I am excited to see what Ruben Bain does at his pro day. I don't think he's running. All right, so Arvell Reese, they blew the whistle on his first 40 attempt. He's going to have to do it over again. Let's see. All right, he's flying. Oh my God, he's fast. 4.53. That's a pretty good time. That's a pretty good time. For comparison's sake, I want to take a look here. What did Micah Parsons run? I feel like when you look at these kind of linebackers slash edge rusher hybrid players, you can't help but compare them to Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons ran a 4.39. I mean, this guy, what the hell? Micah Parsons is like the prototype for the NFL scouting combine at the linebacker position. I mean, a 4.39 is just absurd for a guy who is 6'2", 245. Let's see if any of these other linebackers come close. I think Arvell Reese would have been people's best guess to come close. But so far, nobody's really coming close to a 4.39. I can't even believe that. But we'll see. Jacob Rodriguez is running the 40 right now, NYGFL. I haven't gotten into his tape yet, but 4.61 is a decent 40-yard dash time for him. Sonny Styles is 3 runs away, so we'll focus back in on that in a second. Chris, thanks so much for the super chat saying, if Sonny Styles balls out in the combine, is he in play at number 5? Well, he's already balling out. He weighed in and measured in perfectly for a linebacker, 6'4", 244. That's perfect height weight for a linebacker. And then he jumped a 43-inch vertical. I believe the stat was that only one player in the history of the combine has hit a 43-inch vertical weighing 240 or more pounds. So he's already balling out of the combine, and his broad jump was 11 feet. So, yeah, he is in play at number 5 overall. Art Stapleton actually said that on the channel yesterday. Based on the people that he spoke to in the Giants organization, he is clearly in play at number 5 overall, which I thought was a great piece of information from Art. Really appreciate Art coming on and sharing that insider knowledge. But yes, he is in play at number 5. I don't think he makes it to 10. I don't think he makes it past 5. I think he'd go top 4 or 3. So Swaglin says, if they get one of Leo Chenal, Nakobe Dean, or Tremaine Edmonds from the Bears, do you think they will still take Sonny at 5? Maybe, maybe not. He's kind of one of those players that you're taking regardless of how much talent you probably have at the position. You're just taking him because of his potential. So I could see him being taken. I mean, could you imagine that? You've got, well, Leo Chenal and Nakobe Dean aren't going to cost you a ton. For Edmonds, it's different because you're going to have to maybe give up a draft pick and give him a big contract. That's probably more than those other guys. So you might not go ahead and draft a linebacker if you get Edmonds. But I think that the Giants are going to go BPA at 5 regardless. So I don't know. They might need 2 new starters at linebacker anyway. McFadden's a free agent and Okereke is a cut candidate. So they might need to go for a Nakobe Dean, Sonny Styles combo, potentially. We'll see. All right, so Sonny Styles is next up to run his 40-yard dash. He's lining up again, guys. Ohio State linebacker listed in at 6'5", 244 pounds. Highest vertical by a 6'4" player or taller in the history of the NFL scouting combine. 43.5 inches is the record for a player of his weight. Guy is just an insane athlete. Let's see what this 40-yard dash time comes in at. The time to beat today is 4.46. Let's see if he can run the fastest time. And he's off to the races, and he's flying. 4.49. Wow, Swaglin just called that on the dot. That was really impressive. I saw the chat fly in as I said it, 4.49 on the dot. Good call there. Yeah, that's really fast, guys. Wow. This is an unbelievable screenshot that I just took. By the numbers, they're comparing him athletically to Calvin Johnson. I'm about to tweet this out, guys. You need to see this. This is crazy. Comparing him to Calvin Johnson is insane. But honestly, I mean, this guy might be a top 2 pick in the NFL draft. So to compare him to Calvin Johnson, both players were 6'5", Sonny Styles is 5 pounds heavier at 244. His arms are 3.5 inches shorter, but Sonny Styles ran a 4.49. Calvin Johnson ran a 4.4. Very similar athletically. Calvin Johnson, one of the best receivers of all time. Sonny Styles, I mean, one of the best linebacker prospects to walk through Indianapolis in quite some time. Wow. I think you might be right, NYGFL. I love Caleb Downs, and let's see what he looks like during the combine. He's not expected to be a freak athlete by any means when he gets to the combine. He's more of an intellectual player, cerebral player. On tape, you see his football IQ and his smarts. You know, that's what you like from Caleb Downs. So he's probably not going to blow you away during the combine, but he might blow teams away in the meetings and the interviews. We'll see. So, but yeah, man, I think if you're talking about raw talent and athleticism and potential, Sonny Styles might offer you more. Incredible tape, great testing numbers, leadership. Yeah, he's checking all the boxes. This might be the guy I'm pounding the table for at 5th overall this year. BF1, I think that John Harbaugh, well, he actually wasn't a DB coach. He was a special teams coach, but he's always had an affinity for defensive backs. And yeah, maybe he'll lean downs because he does value safeties that can move around and be a chess piece. But don't forget, John Harbaugh invested relentlessly at the linebacker position. You're talking Ray Lewis, he coached early in his career. You're talking CJ Mosley, they spent a first-round pick on. They made a blockbuster trade to get Roquan Smith. They drafted Patrick Queen. That Trenton Simpson, they drafted pretty early a couple years ago. They invested at linebacker often and expensively. So I think that John Harbaugh is going to lean Sonny Styles over probably every other prospect because his philosophy seems to be get the inside linebacker and build around him. So we'll see. Yeah, I saw that as well. Brandon Sykes could run in the 4.2s. There's also a guy out of Mississippi State. I can't remember his name. He's supposed to run potentially in the 4.2s as well. Hey, I would not hate Mike Evans in free agency, but I really don't see him leaving Tampa Bay. I know there's rumors that he's going to test his market. He's just trying to get more money from Tampa Bay, in my opinion. But yeah, Downs, really exciting prospect as well, and so is Anthony Hill Jr. I really like him, although his 40-yard dash time came in a little bit slower than I thought it would. Yeah, I think you're right, Jaws. I think he was a DB's coach now that I think about it. He obviously cut his teeth as a special teams coordinator under Andy Reid, but I do think he was a DB's coach at some point. That dude, so far, I like Ted Hurst out of Georgia State. Small school guy, Senior Bowl standout, someone who's big, tall, physical, 6'3". I think he's a sleeper in this draft. I think he might go 4th round, so maybe a day 3 impact wide receiver. But that's a good fit for the Giants. That's somebody to keep an eye on. And then, of course, Owen Cooper Jr. out of Indiana. That's a guy that a lot of people like, and I do too. So we'll see. I got to look into some more of the receivers, but those are the two that come to mind right away. I also do like Surratt, I think his name is, at Indiana. That's right, in one GFL. I mean, if you think about the guys that John Harbaugh has coached in his career, it's kind of absurd. Brian Dawkins, Ed Reed, those are the safeties. And Anthony Hill Jr. just improved his 40-yard dash time quite significantly. Went from a 4.59 down to a 4.52. That's really good. Where was I? Brian Dawkins, Ed Reed, Ray Lewis, Calais Campbell Jr. on the interior defensive line, obviously the last few years. Keep an eye on Calais Campbell, guys. That's a player that I think the Giants could have some interest in. A veteran. I think he's almost 40 years old now at this point, but he's still playing, and he's still playing at a high level. And I could totally see the Giants say, hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and bring this guy in, familiar with the defense, familiar with John Harbaugh, and we need some help in the trenches. So why not get a Hall of Fame talent in Calais Campbell? Yes. Yeah, Terrell Suggs. That's another great one. I mean, chock full of talent on that Ravens defense over the years. Yeah, I could see them trading Kayvon Thibodeaux for a cornerback. I could see them doing a player swap for Kayvon Thibodeaux. Honestly, guys, I had not thought of the player swap until Art Stapleton said it on the show yesterday. And then this morning, it's almost like the Jets were listening to the Fireside Giants podcast because they went and they made the player swap with their fifth-year option edge rusher and Jermaine Johnson for T'Vondre Sweat, which honestly is not a bad deal for them, nor would it have been a bad deal necessarily for the Giants. You get a lot cheaper of a cap hit with T'Vondre Sweat, and you improve your interior defensive line quite significantly. So you shave a lot of money off your books by trading away Kayvon, and you upgrade on the interior. That was not a bad deal for the Jets. Again, wouldn't have been a bad one for the Giants. I think you probably want a player that's a little bit better and more established than a T'Vondre Sweat. But nevertheless, let's see what they can get for Kayvon. I think they are going to move him, but we'll see. Tyler Biadasz just got released. That's interesting. Tyler Biadasz is... How has he been? I remember scouting him years ago, and I really liked him in the NFL draft. Has he been a decent player, though? Has he really had success with the Cowboys? I'd have to look into it. Yeah, guys, I got to be honest. I think the Giants want Tyler Linderbaum. I don't think they can afford Tyler Linderbaum. He's going to get probably $22 million a year based on what I'm hearing. So I'm not sure the Giants are going to be able to get there. Arvell Reese is about to run the 40-yard dash again. His first run came in at 4.53. That was ultra fast. Let's see what he comes in at on his second run. I think Tyrell just spoiled it for me in the chat, but that's okay. I don't really care about the spoilers here. And that's a pretty exciting time. Arvell Reese, hand in the dirt. Let's see. I like watching the 40-yard dashes. They're fun. Yeah, 4.47. That's accurate. No, don't worry about it. It's the combine. So he ties the best linebacker speed time at 4.47. Just an absolute freak of nature, Arvell Reese. Again, somebody who's probably going top 3 in this year's draft. I doubt he makes it down to 5. If he does, I think the Giants probably trade down for a king ransom. If you're talking Arvell Reese, I don't think he makes it to 5. If he did make it to 5, I don't think the Giants take him because he's probably projecting as more of an edge rusher. I think that you probably let somebody give you a farm for Arvell Reese. I don't think they're going to go with another linebacker converted to edge back-to-back years with Abdul Carter, of course, having the amount of success that he did as a rookie. But I don't know. Maybe they do view him as an inside linebacker, and maybe he wants to play there. Yeah, that dude, I'm going to pull this comment up because I couldn't agree more. The fact that so many of the top prospects the last few years have not been competing has been so disappointing. Like the chances of significant injury at the combine are very slim. And I feel like it's just always been a pride thing for these guys when they aren't competing. Like, oh, I already put it all on tape. I don't need to prove it again. But don't you want to? Don't you want to show off? If you're the shit, show off that you're the shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's just kind of my mindset. I like it when they compete, and I'm happy Arvell Reese is competing. Sonny Styles is competing. Those guys are probably going after each other saying, oh, I'm going to run a faster 40 than you. Oh, I'm going to run a faster 40. So, yeah, I do think Arvell did say that, and I do think he is going to play on the edge. But, if he does fall to 5, I don't think the Giants are drafting an edge at 5. I think at that point, you probably trade him down. But, again, I think he's going top 3, so it's probably a moot point. All right, Xavier Sorey Jr. at Arkansas is running his 40 next, and then it's going to be Sonny Styles. I'm really excited to see if Sonny Styles can improve upon his impressive 40-yard dash time. But yeah, 4.47 for Arvell Reese, pretty intense. Pretty great. Andrew's my cousin's name. I'm Anthony. You want a receiver at 5? Yeah, listen, I think Carnell Tate is a really good option at 5. I just don't know if he's the same caliber of prospect as some of these other guys who are going to be there at 5. I don't think that Carnell Tate has that Malik Neighbors potential. And I think when you're picking 5th, you want somebody at the receiver position, you probably want somebody kind of at that potential. Yes, NYGFL. I saw this earlier. Does he have something underneath his undershirt? Or are his traps just that ridiculous? Sonny Styles looks like a freak, and he is a freak. So if he's there at number 5, I think the Giants might sprint to the podium. First run for Arvell Reese was a 4.49. He's about to run his second 40-yard dash time. I'm going to give you guys my reaction to that as he runs in these highlighter cleats. These are bright. All right, Sonny Styles, let's see what you can run. And he's off. 4.47. That is lightning fast for a guy that's 245 pounds. My goodness. I mean, so he's the fastest linebacker in the class. He's got the highest vertical jump of any linebacker at his weight since 2003. He had an 11-foot broad jump. I mean, he's making the case for being the best prospect in the NFL draft today. He's really making the case for being number 1 overall. So, not that he'll go number 1. Fernando Mendoza will. But guys, Arvell Reese, everybody's getting convinced that he's the pick at 5. He might not make it to 5 after the performance he just put together today. Just got to put that out there. Also, NYGFL, I think he does have some sort of padding underneath. I don't know what it is, though. Me too, man. If he's there at 5, I'd take him. Oh, he's speaking now. Hold on. Let me hear what he has to say. Yeah, Sonny ran his 40 at 4.47. Fastest at the combine, tied with 2 other people. They're asking Sonny Styles about his measurements right now. They said, how do you feel about your 40? He said, well, I wanted to hit 4.45, but I guess it was all right. They said, okay, how did you feel about your vertical jump? He said, well, I wanted to hit 45 inches, but I guess it's all right. That's the kind of mindset that I like. Player is just always striving for perfection, disappointed when he doesn't get it. Pretty cool. Darnell says, what's up, Alex? I'm Anthony, just to clarify for you. But what's up? Saying I watch your show pretty much all the time. Appreciate it. With that number 5 pick, Sonny Styles don't seem bad at all, man. I'll take him. Let's go Giants. Darnell, I'm with you. I'd take him at number 5. I think he's definitely becoming my favorite prospect with the 5th overall pick. I'm just concerned he's not even going to be on the board at number 5 at this point because he has absolutely lit it up today at the NFL Scouting Combine. Yep. The fact that he competed at the Combine this week and didn't sit and just do the interviews, I mean, he went from being maybe a top 10 pick to maybe a top 3 pick by competing. So, man, those Ohio State guys are crazy. Yeah, there's a lot of wide receivers in the middle rounds that could potentially be impactful players. I don't think you're going to get a number 1 superstar in the middle rounds, of course. But I also don't know if you're getting that at number 5. I really like Carnell Tate, but I don't know. To be fair, people said a couple of years ago when Jackson Smith and Jigba was in the draft, they were like, he's not going to be, he'll be a high-end number 2, but he's never going to be a superstar number 1. And he is. He's a superstar number 1, player of the year. So it's kind of tough to project, but I think I'm in the same boat. I'd rather go wide receiver in round 2 or 4. Giants don't have a 3rd-round pick. Otherwise, that would be my sweet spot. But, yeah, I want Sonny Styles at 5 now, guys. But I got a lot of film to get through with Styles and so many other players. And I'm going to be putting together some scouting profiles soon. And I'm excited to post those on the Fireside Giants Instagram. If you guys aren't following along, do make sure you are. And also on my Twitter. And I have an Instagram as well, Anthony Rivardo _NFL. Give me a follow there if you guys haven't already. No problem, man. It's all good. Yeah, me and Alex on the show, showing your age. It's all good, Darnell. I'm not offended. I just appreciate you joining me tonight and tuning in. Yeah, I could see them going after Waddle. I don't know if the Kayvon for DJ Moore swap is realistic, but who knows? But also, I think that DJ Moore has a pretty lofty cap hit himself. So, guys, do you want to see me do some mock drafts in the mock draft machine right now on PFF? I can run through like 5 different simulations and we can see. If you do want me to do that, comment mock or comment 1 or something down below, or just yes, I don't care. Comment whatever if you want to see me do some mock drafts. But if you'd rather me just kind of sit here and chat with you guys, I'll do that as well. Whatever you want. You guys control me today. Okay, so we're getting some hell yeahs in the chat. I could see them moving back. I could see them moving back if they get a good offer. I just don't think they're going to get a good offer. I don't think teams are going to want to move up. Somebody asked earlier in the chat, I forgot to click on it, but I did see somebody, and I'm sorry I'm forgetting who asked it, but I saw someone ask about Jeremiah Love at number 5. There was a report saying that the Giants could potentially go Jeremiah Love at number 5. That's not going to happen, guys. I can just tell you that right now. There's no way they're taking a running back 5th overall, but Jeremiah Love is sick. And I'm bringing this up to say, if the Giants do trade down, it's very likely going to be for a team trying to trade up to get Notre Dame running back Jeremiah Love. So do keep an eye on him and his draft stock, because it could potentially be important for the Giants. But no, I don't think they're going to take him 5th overall. All right, so we got a lot of yeses. People want to see me do a mock draft. So I'm going to fire up the PFF mock draft machine. We're going to go ahead and do that. Why not? Let's have some fun. Yeah, I'll definitely check out the Alabama guys as well, Dane. I got a lot of draft prospects to get through. I'm behind again because of the coaching search and everything. The Giants are behind, so Fireside Giants is also behind. But I got some tape to grind, and I'll be doing that soon. That dude, it's not a very strong running back class this year, so I probably wouldn't go running back this year. I'd probably actually rather just go with somebody like, obviously you've got Tyrone Tracy Jr. and you've got Cam Scatterbo, and then I would probably just sign another veteran in free agency, I think. Hold on, guys. Let me fix that. See if I can get that to show up better. No, that's going to be the best we can do. All right. So I had the combine over another tab. Is the combine finished now or no? I can't believe how much of a talent Sonny Styles is physically. And yeah, I would like some Isaiah Likely as well. Okay, so let's go New York Giants. Let's go 7 rounds. Let's just go with that. Okay. I don't want it on turbo. I want it on fast. There we go. In this mock draft, okay, so let's have the debate, guys. Let's you guys can vote. Number 1, Caleb Downs. Number 2, Sonny Styles. Number 3, Arvell Reese. Number 4, Francis Maui Noah. Number 5, Carnell Tate. Drop your number 1 to 5 based on who you want down below in the chat. I'll let you know who I would draft here. It's Sonny Styles, man. I'm taking Sonny Styles in this instance. All 3 of those Ohio State guys are attractive, and all 3 of them could be the pick here. If Arvell Reese is on the board, which again, I don't think he will be on the board, but if he is, I do think teams will come calling and you could potentially get a trade from a team, especially like the Bengals. Let's go through this mock draft scenario. I see you guys going Sonny Styles here in the chat. We're going to do a second mock draft and we are going to go with Sonny Styles, but let's actually walk through the scenario where Arvell Reese doesn't go 2, doesn't go 3, doesn't go 4, and somehow falls into the Giants' lap at 5. If Arvell Reese is there at 5, I think they get an absolute haul from a team, again, like the Bengals. The Bengals need a pass rusher. It seems very likely that Trey Hendrickson is going to leave in free agency this offseason. What could the Giants get in this scenario to move back 5 spots? Could they get a second-round pick plus a 4th? I think so. Let's see if they can get that. So in that instance, we trade down to 10. And guys, again, I'm going to go back and I'm going to do the Sonny Styles mock draft that you guys are requesting here. But I just want to walk through the scenario because I think it's pretty interesting. If Arvell Reese is there and people look at him as the number 1 edge rusher in this class, but somehow he goes as the 3rd edge rusher off the board, again, I think the Giants could probably get a 2nd and a 4th. So do you guys think, we're not drafting Arvell Reese. We're trading so another team could draft Arvell Reese. Would you guys take a 2nd and a 4th round pick to move back 5 spots, or are you just taking Sonny Styles if he's on the board at 5th overall? You guys let me know. That's kind of the that's kind of what we're walking through here. And then at that point, when you're picking 10th, I think you go Francis Maui-Noah and you take him at 10. So now you've got 2 second-round picks, 2 fourth-round picks. I get nervous about it too. That dude, again, I feel like you probably just take Sonny Styles if he's on the board at 5, but I don't know. You get an extra second. Now let's see what kind of holes we can fill for the Giants. So we're going to do this mock draft, and then we're going to do the Sonny Styles mock draft. We're going to put them side by side, and you guys can pick. But Francis Maui-Noah here would be a pretty exciting pick. And then if you're in the second round, I think you're going defensive interior here, right? With a guy like Kristen Miller. Dante Corleone, I think you can get later. Grayson Halton is a really good player as well, guys. Do keep an eye on him. I don't think Jermaine Illuminor's coming back, guys, just based on what I heard. I'm not convinced he's going to be back with this team. So just putting that out there. Francis Maui-Noah at number 10. He might be a guard as well. So even if Jermaine Illuminor is back, I could see Francis Maui-Noah being the right guard. But I think at this pick, you can get that linebacker. Missed out on Styles. Okay, now you get Anthony Hill. Oh, man, I was trying to get Omar Cooper Jr. there too. Didn't get him. Shoot. I guess I got too cute. And then I think Kristen Miller's a beast. Dane, appreciate you so much. Saying 140 watching. We need to get the likes to 100. Like the videos, guys and gals. Please do leave a like. It really helps the channel out a ton more than you guys realize. So any likes would be much appreciated. And thank you for the shout on that, Dane. So now you got 2 fourth-round picks. Tight end ain't a bad idea. Cornerback ain't a bad idea. What do we have so far? I mean, if you trade down, I mean, this ain't bad here. I like the idea of going corner. It's a really strong edge rusher class as well, guys. How about getting a Mississippi guy? Somebody with that Jackson Dart connection, eh? Did he play at Mississippi at Ole Miss when Dart was there? Are you guys out hearing me? No volume or volume? Giovanni, is it you or is you guys can hear me all right? I'm going to go with this wide receiver here. Go corner. We'll sim through this. Wow, 4.46 for Sonny Styles officially. Whew. Guys, remember when Drew Aller was talked about as a potential top 5 pick in the draft? My, how things change, eh? All right, so we're going to continue flying through this mock draft, and then we're going to go ahead and do the Sonny Styles mock draft that I know you guys really want. So just walking through, and all right, you guys can hear me. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. True. That is why you don't go back to school. He tried to bet on himself. This bet did not pay off for Drew Aller, unfortunately. All right, let's just go with that. And then let's do the Sonny Styles mock draft. But you guys let me know what you think of this mock draft. They give us an A-. Not bad. I definitely think Kristen Miller at 41 is a steal. I like Anthony Hill Jr. at 37. I like getting a cornerback and a tight end in the middle round, a wide receiver, and Francis Maui-Noah. You can do this because you get all of those extra picks. Yeah, that dude. They got to trade those 6th-round picks. There's no way they can draft 3 Darius Masuas, right? All right, so let's do the PFF mock draft machine again. Download that. Let's run through it. All right, let's do that again. I want to get Sonny Styles. You give that one an A, BF1? All right, and this time we are taking Sonny Styles, 5th overall. You guys get your guy. And now we'll go back to having you vote on each pick. Ty Simpson went in the 1st round in the sim. All right, so I'll let you guys vote here. Here's the options I'll present with you. Number 1, Kristen Miller, the Georgia interior defender. Big 6'4", 310. Number 2, Colton Hood, the Tennessee cornerback. Number 3, Anthony Hill Jr., the Texas linebacker. Or number 4, Omar Cooper Jr., Indiana. Giovanni, this is Pro Football Focus. You guys let me know. I'm low-key leaning towards Omar Cooper Jr. with this pick. That's probably the direction that I would go. He's got elite run after the catch. He's been soaring in draft lately. Yeah, Hood is pretty sneaky. I don't mind Hood. Oh, we've got 1 for 3, which is Anthony Hill. We've got 2 votes for Cooper. Got 2 votes for Hood. We need a tiebreaker. Somebody's got to break the tie between Cooper and Hood. Who's going to break the tie? I think I'm going to break the tie. I think I'm going to vote Omar Cooper Jr. and go wide receiver. Ooh, NYGFL went Hood, though. Technically, he broke the tie in the chat. Let's see. Let's get one more vote in there, guys. And we got 1 more vote for Cooper. 2 more votes for Cooper. 1 more vote for Hood. 1 more vote for Cooper. 1 more vote for Cooper. All right, we're going to go Cooper. And we could go Gabe. We could go with the guard out of Oregon, but, just for fun, let's walk through it with Cooper as the pick this time around. Where's everybody tuning in from tonight? New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Florida, California? Where are you from? Let me know. All right, so with our first 2 picks, we've got Sonny Styles and Omar Cooper. That's pretty good. New Jersey, Florida. Shout out Florida. That's where I'm at. Orlando, Florida. I'm going to be in Orlando mid-March. Another Florida, a bunch of Florida. North Carolina, Oklahoma. Newark, New Jersey. Chile. Very cool. International. Australia. That's awesome. What time is it over in Australia? Palm Beach County. Guess what? I'm in Palm Beach County. Connecticut. LA. South Bay. I hang out in LA quite a bit because my sister lives in LA. North Carolina, Texas, Dominican Republic. Wow. International. Fireside Giants going international. It's awesome. Who are you guys eyeing here? 10:52 a.m. Nice. I didn't realize the time difference was that crazy. Who are you guys eyeing here with this pick? I do like Capehart. Capehart's a good player. I like those Clemson defensive linemen. This guy's big, 6'5", 315. I don't know. Which prospect are you guys leaning toward here? Could go with Markel Bell, the other Miami offensive tackle. Not sure he's going to be a perfect fit at right tackle, though. Cyrus Allen is the Wandale replacement, but we just went with Omar Cooper as the Wandale replacement. Yeah, Capehart did have a good day today at the Combine. Capehart ran a 4.85. Oh, my goodness. That's pretty fast for a big dude like that. I think Joe Howard had a good day today, too, didn't he? Out of Texas Tech. Farmer, you like Jalen Farmer? Which one's bobblehead? Is that Joe Howard? Gil Howard? How do you say it? I saw the bobblehead today. I didn't remember what name it was. Was it Capehart? Capehart had the bobblehead? I'm seeing 3 chats for Muhammad, so looks like we're going Malik Muhammad. That's a pretty good draft so far, guys. I mean, that might give you 3 starters immediately, day 1. Whew. Not so bad. You know who's a tight end that I do like in this class? Not with this pick, but I really like Oscar Delp. I think, the stats, all right, but I think he's a bit underrated. Who do we like here, guys? A lot of DBs all throughout this draft. Every time we're picking, there's some DBs on the board. I think we need an offensive lineman, though, don't we? Bo Stevens? Yeah, maybe we go Bo Stevens. Go with the Iowa offensive lineman after probably missing out on the Iowa offensive lineman that you like in Tyler Linderbaum. He's 6'5", 315. Well, we definitely like a big 6'5" guard. That's pretty nice. Yeah, let's go with Bo Stevens, guys. Good pick. I like drafting with the chat. Chat's pretty good at drafting. I like you guys. Oh, now our 3 6th-round picks. Yippee. Who are we going in the 6th, guys? Also, don't sleep on the Giants taking a developmental quarterback behind Jackson Dart as a potential long-term backup. I know. They've got Jackson Dart. They've got Jameis Winston. I know. But a QB3 / a long-term backup, I could see them picking up somebody to develop. Darius Musa, of course. Yeah, Chris would love a guard. Logan Jones, center, Iowa. Yeah, honestly, right? Why not just take the other Iowa offensive lineman? He's 6'3". That's not bad for a center. He's got to weigh in over 300, though, at the combine. We'll definitely take Oscar Delp with one of these picks. Kicker. Everybody's saying kicker. Are there kickers to be drafted? Trey Smack. You know what? That guy's going to be a star in the NFL. Look, the name, Trey Smack. How is that guy? He's 6'1", 200. I feel like that's pretty solid height and weight for a kicker. Damn, he's 6'3", 175. I've never looked at kicker measurables in the draft before. I could see the Giants drafting a kicker with one of these 6th-round picks, though. We know that John Harbaugh loves special teams. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I'm kind of moved by this idea of going with Logan Jones, getting both of these Iowa players. What about Xavion Thomas? Getting another LSU receiver. I don't mind the idea of just drafting as many LSU wide receivers as you can because they all tend to be good. Is Trey Smack good? Ben Sauls is a beast. Nah, I mean, I got to see more from Ben Sauls. He didn't even kick a 50-yarder, did he? I don't think he did. I'll let you guys make the pick. I don't know these guys, so I got to do more research on the late rounds. Another center down here. 6'2", 290. I'm not drafting a guy who's 290 at center. Not happening. Yeah, Ben Sauls does need competition in camp. I'm thinking we go. Well, we could also use a safety. 6'4", 220 pounds. At safety? Yo, I'm drafting this kid. Screw it. I will take Oscar Delp. I like him as the tight end. And I know that the Giants are going to want some extra tight ends on this roster. So we'll go Delp here. We didn't take an interior defender yet. So I think we're going to have to go with the best interior defender. And that's going to be Xavier Harris. ZXA to start. That's a very interesting way to start your name. I've never seen the ZXA. That's pretty cool. 6th round. Oh, we don't have a 7th-round pick. I was going to draft Tyler Smack with our 7th-round pick. Giants don't have a 7th-round pick. Whoops. Go Gators. B- on this one. I don't know. What do you guys think? Drop your grades on this mock draft down below in the chat. I think it's pretty good, actually. The defense certainly got better in this one. Got some depth on the interior of the defensive line to develop with. Got a safety that could potentially play some big minutes for you and replace Dane Belton. Got a guard that has great potential. Got an elite linebacker. Got a good receiver. A cornerback who could start. This is a pretty good draft to me. A-, A-. I like it. Yeah, Sonny Styles getting a C+. Get out of here, PFF. Get out of here. Pro Football Focus. Yeah, that was fun, guys. Mock draft season is officially here. That's the first mock draft that we've done on the channel of the offseason. So it's a long offseason ahead. We're going to do a lot of mock drafts, but that's the first one. Obviously, like I said, watching the combine on the side, took a break there, but I think it ended anyway. I think they might be done for the day. Oh, no, they're still going. Oh, Sonny Styles is on my screen right now. Let's see. Doing one of these shuffles. This guy literally moves like he's a cornerback. It's ridiculous. And everybody likes to say, oh, he's like a – appreciate it, Danny. Everybody's saying, oh, he's like a safety playing linebacker because he used to play safety. He moves even more fluid than a safety to me. It's wild. I got to stop glazing Sonny Styles. But you guys seem to know who I want with the 5th overall pick. It's Sonny Styles. But anyway, guys, a nice 1 hour long live stream here. Had a lot of fun doing this live stream. Really great interactions with all of you in the chat. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Do make sure to drop a like on this live stream because it really helps the channel out a whole bunch more than you probably realize. So really would appreciate any likes that you could spare for me. But thanks again, guys, for tuning in. Had some fun doing those mock drafts and, of course, reacting to the combine and answering your questions. Going to try and do more live streams going forward. Just want to interact with you guys more, create that community sense that we used to have a little bit stronger. Obviously, with things getting so crazy at the start of this offseason, wasn't able to live stream as much as I wanted to. I want to do it more often. So plan to see me live here on the channel more often than I have been. And really looking forward to doing more conversational live streams with you guys just like this. Appreciate you, Tyrell. Appreciate you, that dude. Daniel, you can send me a mock draft on Twitter at Anthony_Rivardo or on Instagram at Anthony_Rivardo_NFL. I don't think I've ever shared with you guys my Instagram account, so I'll go ahead and do that. I'm trying to grow a following over there. And yes, I would go after Dallas Goedert. I think Dallas Goedert is a good fit for the Giants tight end room. BF1 said thanks. You're welcome, BF1. But yeah, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Appreciate everybody who joined me tonight. Giants Collective didn't go live tonight, so I figured let's go live on Fireside Giants. I'm happy that I did. Had a great time tonight, guys. Appreciate you all tuning in. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Ring the bell so you don't miss an episode, and comment your thoughts down below in the comments section. I am bringing back the Madden rebuild. This is a perfect time, right in between free agency and the combine. Perfect time. I'm definitely doing that. Subscribe if you're new. Ring the bell. Leave a like, all that fun stuff. I'll catch you on the next one. Have a good one. Thanks again. And let's go New York Giants. Let's go get Sonny Styles, eh?